Have you ever looked at your birth chart and felt, yes, this describes me, but it still does not explain the deeper pattern running my life? Have you ever studied gene keys and felt the language was powerful, but wondered how it applies to your actual emotional body, your work path, your relationship wounds, your karmic pressure, your nakshatras, your houses, your planetary placements? That is where Sidereal Hologenetic Gene Keys mapping becomes powerful. This is not just personality analysis. This is not just astrology. This is not just gene keys contemplation. This is a consciousness diagnostic system. And today I want to take you through an actual case study, Juliet's Sidereal Hologenetic Map. Listen to this not only as Juliet's reading, listen as a mirror for your own life. Because your sun is not just your identity. Your moon is not just your emotions. Your Venus is not just love. Your Mars is not just anger. Your Saturn is not just karma. Your Rahu is not just obsession. Every planet is a diagnostic engine. The planet shows the function. The sign shows the behavioral style. The house shows the life arena. The nakshatra shows the instinctive karmic field. The gene key shows the shadow, the gift, and the highest possibility. The line shows how the pattern behaves. That is why this method is so direct. It does not leave you floating in spiritual abstraction. It shows you where the shadow lives, how it repeats, and what gift is trying to emerge through it. Now let us enter Juliet's map. Juliet has Aries ascendant in Kritika, mapping to gene key 8.3, mediocrity, style, exquisiteness. This is the first signature. Aries rising gives instinct, courage, directness, action, and personal fire. Kritika adds sharpness, discernment, purification, and the ability to cut through falseness. But gene key 8 says the first shadow is mediocrity. Now, mediocrity here does not mean lack of talent. It means the danger of diluting originality in order to belong. It means copying accepted models instead of letting the soul's own style emerge. The gift is style, not surface style. The unique way consciousness wants to express through the body, voice, mind, choices, and life direction. Line 3 says, Juliet discovers this through experiment, trial, error, mutation, adjustment. She is not here to become a polished copy. She is here to become original through experience. Her first lesson is this: do not become acceptable at the cost of becoming real. Now we come to her life's work. Juliet's sun is in Aquarius in the 11th house, in Purva Bhadrapada, mapping to gene key 30.3, turbulence, humanity, compassion. This is major. The sun is visible dharma. It is identity, life force, purpose, and the field through which the person is meant to shine. Aquarius in the 11th house gives a collective signature: networks, communities, future systems, reform, social intelligence, friend circles, groups, platforms, humanitarian vision. The mind wants to serve something larger than the personal self. But the gene key is 36. The shadow is turbulence. So Juliet's life's work is not born from a perfectly peaceful life. It is born from learning how to meet emotional intensity, uncertainty, social instability, crisis, rejection, confusion, or inner storms without collapsing into them. The gift is humanity. This is the moment pain becomes useful. Turbulence becomes humanity when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how does this make me more compassionate, more honest, more available to life? The city is compassion. Purva Bhadrapada deepens this. It adds spiritual intensity, inner fire, and the feeling of standing between ordinary life and a more radical truth. So Juliet's life's work says, your emotional storms are not the opposite of your purpose. They are the raw material of your compassion. Now her evolution point is the earth, opposite the sun. Juliet's earth is in Leo in the 5th house, in Purva Phalguni, mapping to gene key 6.2, conflict, diplomacy, peace. The evolution point shows the main growth challenge. Leo in the 5th house is creativity, romance, performance, children, intelligence, visibility, joy, and the inner child. Purva Phalguni adds pleasure, love, beauty, bonding, celebration, sensuality, and creative enjoyment. But gene key 6 begins with conflict. This tells us the growth challenge lands in emotional boundaries. Conflict may appear through love, creativity, attention, romance, approval, or the need to be seen. Sometimes conflict is external. Sometimes it is inner tension. Can I express myself without creating drama? Can I love without losing peace? Can I be visible without needing validation? The gift is diplomacy, not people-pleasing. Diplomacy is mature emotional intelligence. It is the ability to know when to open, when to close, when to speak, when to soften, and when to hold the boundary. The Siddhi is peace. So Juliet's growth path is very clear. Turn creative and relational conflict into emotional peace. This is where the mapping becomes superior and direct. A general chart reading may say Leo 5th house is creative. True, but incomplete. The gene key layer tells us the exact transformation. Conflict must become diplomacy. Diplomacy must become peace. Now let us look at the moon. Juliet's moon is in Sagittarius in the 9th house, in Purva Ashada mapping to gene key 54.1, greed, aspiration, ascension. The moon is the emotional body. It shows needs, memory, instinct, safety, mother patterns, and emotional rhythm. Sagittarius in the 9th house is the seeker. It needs meaning, it needs truth. It needs philosophy, teachers, travel, belief, sacred knowledge, higher education, and a bigger horizon. But gene key 54 starts with greed. Do not hear this only as money. In spiritual work, greed can mean the hunger to rise, hunger for success, hunger for truth, hunger for recognition, hunger for higher knowledge, hunger to become something more. The gift is aspiration. Greed grabs. Aspiration rises. Greed compares. Aspiration commits. Greed wants status. Aspiration wants elevation. Line 1 makes this foundational. Juliet must build a true inner philosophy, not borrow one. She must ask, is this my real aspiration, or am I chasing meaning because I feel emotionally unfinished? Now, Rahu is also in Sagittarius in the 9th house, in Purva Ashada, mapping to gene key 61.3, psychosis, inspiration, sanctity. This intensifies everything. Rahu amplifies hunger. In the 9th house, it wants truth, teachers, foreign knowledge, spiritual systems, philosophy, and breakthrough. Joined to the moon's field, it can make the emotional body deeply restless. Gene key 61 is the pressure of inner truth. Its shadow is psychosis, not as a casual label, but as the mental pressure that comes when the mind becomes obsessed with solving the mystery of existence. The gift is inspiration. So Juliet's Rahu is not here to make her blindly chase teachers, ideologies, or systems. It is here to turn inner pressure into sacred inquiry. The lesson is sharp. Do not possess truth. Let truth inspire you. Now we come to one of the strongest parts of the chart, the Aquarius 11th house stellium. Juliet has Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter in Aquarius in the 11th house. This is the collective intelligence cluster. Mercury maps to gene key 22.3, dishonor, graciousness, grace. Jupiter maps to gene key 22.1, dishonor, graciousness, grace. When the same gene key repeats through Mercury and Jupiter, it becomes a major life theme. Mercury is speech, thinking, learning, writing, analysis, business, language, and communication. Jupiter is wisdom, teaching, ethics, grace, prosperity, philosophy, and guidance. Both carry gene key 22. This tells us that Juliet's mind and wisdom are being refined through emotional nobility. At shadow frequency, dishonor may appear as social shame, harsh speech, emotional reactivity, loss of dignity, feeling excluded, or communicating from hurt. The gift is graciousness. This is not weakness. This is refined power. It is the ability to speak truth without degrading yourself or others. It is elegance under pressure. It is emotional maturity inside social fields. The Siddhi is grace. Because this occurs in Aquarius and the 11th house, the lesson happens through groups, friends, social networks, communities, audiences, platforms, organizations, and collective spaces. This is a strong communicator's map, a teacher's map, a guide's map, a future system thinker's map. But the condition is clear. Her intelligence becomes prosperous only when it becomes gracious, not just brilliant, not just futuristic, not just different, gracious. Now Venus. Juliet's Venus is exalted in Pisces in the 12th house, in Uttara Bhadrapada, mapping to gene key 17.5, opinion, farsightedness, omniscience. This is a deeply mystical love signature. Venus in Pisces is compassionate, imaginative, devotional, artistic, romantic, forgiving, and spiritually sensitive. In the 12th house, love becomes private, dreamlike, foreign, hidden, sacrificial, or deeply interior. But gene key 17 begins with opinion. At shadow frequency, Juliet may form private conclusions about love, people, beauty, relationships, or spiritual ideals. The danger is idealized judgment. This is what love should be. This is what this person means. This is what beauty must look like. The gift is farsightedness. This is love with perspective. It sees over time. It does not reduce a person to one moment, one flaw, one attraction, one disappointment, or one fantasy. Line 5 gives public impact. Her Venusian intelligence can influence others through beauty, love, art, aesthetics, compassion, and refined perception. The relationship lesson is do not let private opinion replace far-sighted love. Now Mars. Juliet's Mars is in Cancer in the 4th house, in Pushya, mapping to gene key 31.5. Arrogance, leadership, humility. Mars is action, anger, desire, assertion, courage, conflict, and protection. Cancer makes Mars emotional. The 4th house places it in home, mother, family, emotional roots, belonging, land, memory, and inner security. Pushya adds care, nourishment, teaching, protection, ritual, and family responsibility. But gene key 31 begins with arrogance. This may not look like loud ego. It may look like emotional defensiveness, protectiveness turning into control, wanting to lead before listening, wanting emotional safety so badly that the person becomes forceful. The gift is leadership. Mars here must not be suppressed. It must mature. Juliet is meant to lead, but through emotional intelligence, not emotional command. The Siddhi is humility. This is also her EQ field. Emotional maturity for Juliet means lead without needing to dominate, protect without controlling, speak with power, but listen first. Now Saturn. Juliet's Saturn is in Virgo in the 6th house, in Uttara Falguni, mapping to gene key 18.5, judgment, integrity, perfection. Saturn in Virgo in the 6th house is a strong service and refinement placement. It sees flaws, it notices mistakes, it wants systems to improve. It can be excellent for healing, analysis, problem solving, work discipline, health routines, technical skill, and service. But gene key 18 begins with judgment. At shadow frequency, this becomes criticism, perfectionism, harsh standards, self-judgment, or impatience with imperfection. The gift is integrity. Integrity corrects without cruelty. It improves without shaming. It holds standards without superiority. Line 5 gives practical leadership. Juliet can become someone who sees what is broken and knows how to repair it in work, health, education, systems, relationships, or service. The warning is direct. If correction loses compassion, it becomes judgment. If correction serves truth, it becomes integrity. Now let us bring in the 88-day design layer. The design layer shows the deeper body imprint beneath the visible personality. Juliet's design sun is in Scorpio in the 10th house, in Jeshta, mapping to gene key 11.3, obscurity, idealism, light. This is her radiance. Scorpio in the 10th house brings hidden intensity, transformation, public karma, depth psychology, power, secrecy, and the ability to rise through difficulty. Jeshta adds seniority, protection, responsibility, hidden strength, and complex emotional intelligence. Gene key 11 begins with obscurity. When she lacks a clear inner image, vitality drops. When vision is clouded, energy becomes heavy. But the gift is idealism, the ability to hold a higher image of what life can become. The Siddhi is light. Her radiance depends on meaningful vision. She needs not just goals, but a guiding image of purpose. Her design earth is in Taurus in the 4th house, in Mrigashira, mapping to gene key 12.3, vanity, discrimination, purity. This is purpose. Taurus in the 4th house grounds purpose through home, voice, beauty, emotional security, land, food, comfort, family, and inner stability. Mrigashira adds searching, curiosity, fragrance, beauty, movement, and the longing to find the true home within. Gene key 12 begins with vanity. This can mean emotional performance, refined image, or speaking beautifully while hiding truth. The gift is discrimination, knowing what to express, when to speak, what to refine, and what to keep sacred. The Siddhi is purity. Juliet's purpose is not to say more, it is to speak more purely. Now her attraction sphere is design moon in Virgo in the 8th house, Chitra, mapping to gene key 50.1, corruption, equilibrium, harmony. This shows what her aura may attract. Virgo in the 8th house attracts complexity, hidden wounds, psychological depth, crisis, healing, secrets, inherited patterns, emotional imbalance, and transformation. Chitra gives design intelligence, visual order, precision, and the ability to craft beauty out of disorder. Gene key 50 begins with corruption. This may show distorted care patterns, family system imbalance, messy emotional agreements, or situations where help and control get mixed. The gift is equilibrium. Juliet is not here to absorb chaos. She is here to restore balance. But line 1 says she must begin with values. Without a stable ethical foundation, she may be pulled into other people's emotional disorder. The lesson: do not rescue what refuses responsibility. Restore balance without losing yourself. Her SQ, the heart wound field, is designed Venus and Scorpio in the 10th house, Jyotish, mapping to gene key 26.1, pride, artfulness, invisibility. This is deep. The heart wound may involve wanting to appear strong, impressive, respected, powerful, competent, or emotionally untouchable. Scorpio Jyotish does not easily expose vulnerability. In the 10th house, this can connect to reputation, recognition, public image, and authority. The shadow is pride. The gift is artfulness. This is influence without manipulation, strategy without ego, timing without force, skill without showing off. The Siddhi is invisibility, action without ego display. Her heart healing asks, can I be effective without needing to prove superiority? Now her core vocation is Design Mars in Cancer in the 6th house, Ashlesha, mapping to gene key 29.1, half-heartedness, commitment, devotion. This may be one of the most important keys in the whole map. Mars in Cancer again emphasizes emotional action. The 6th house brings service, work, health, discipline, conflict, routines, healing, repair, and daily effort. Ashlesha adds emotional binding, psychological insight, secrecy, healing intelligence, and the need for detoxification. Gene Key 29 begins with half-heartedness. This is the wound of saying yes without full life, serving from obligation, beginning without completing, agreeing emotionally while resisting internally, giving energy where devotion is absent. The gift is commitment, the Siddhi is devotion. So Juliet's vocation unlocks only when she learns the sacred power of a clean yes and a clean no, not scattered effort, not emotional obligation, not rescuing, not half service, devotion. This is the core. Choose what is worthy of your life force, then commit fully. Now culture. Design Jupiter is in Capricorn in the 12th house, Dhanishta mapping to gene key 3.4, desire, lightness, rapture. Culture shows the environment that supports prosperity. Capricorn gives structure. The 12th house gives solitude, retreat, foreign lands, spirituality, hidden work, subconscious processing, and liberation. Dhanishta adds rhythm, sound, timing, vows, wealth, and group karma. Gene Key 30 begins with desire. At shadow frequency, desire can become emotional hunger, intensity addiction, or longing for something always just out of reach. The gift is lightness. This is the key. Juliet prospers in environments where desire is not suppressed, but refined, where spiritual practice, creativity, rhythm, community, and disciplined freedom can coexist. The Siddhi is rapture. Her best culture is not dry ambition, it is disciplined inspiration. And her pearl returns us to Jupiter in Aquarius in the 11th house, gene key 22.1. Her prosperity is grace. Let me say that clearly. Juliet's prosperity is not simply money. It is not simply achievement. It is not just fame, intelligence, or status. Her prosperity comes when her wisdom becomes graceful enough to serve communities. Now step back and see the full pattern. Juliet's map moves through turbulence to compassion, conflict to peace, greed to aspiration, dishonor to grace, opinion to farsightedness, arrogance to humility, judgment to integrity, psychosis to inspiration, pride to artfulness, half-heartedness to devotion, desire to rapture. This is not random. This is consciousness architecture. And this is why Sidereal Hologenetic Mapping is so powerful for conscious men and women doing serious, self-reflective work. Because it does not ask, what is your sign? It asks, where does your shadow repeat? Which planet carries it? Which house activates it? Which Nakshatra gives it instinctive force? Which gene key shows the transformation? Which line shows the behavior? What gift is waiting inside that pressure? That is the real work. If the shadow comes through Venus, study love. If it comes through Mars, study anger and desire. If it comes through Mercury, study speech and thought. If it comes through Saturn, study fear, discipline, and judgment. If it comes through Rahu, study obsession. If it comes through the moon, study emotional need. If it comes through the sun, study identity and dharma. This is how your chart becomes a living mirror. Juliet's map shows a soul learning to become a compassionate, future-facing communicator, healer, and guide. She is not here to avoid emotional intensity. She is here to refine it. She is not here to merely collect knowledge. She is here to transmit it with grace. She is not here to dominate through sensitivity. She is here to lead with humility. She is not here to scatter herself across every longing. She is here to choose devotion. And maybe that is the message for you too. Your shadow is not your failure. Your shadow is the doorway. Your planet shows the function. Your house shows the arena. Your nakshatra shows the instinct. Your gene key shows the path. When you read the map correctly, you stop asking, "What is wrong with me?" You begin asking, "What gift is trying to emerge through this exact shadow?" And that question can change everything. So if you want your own deep sidereal hologenetic gene keys map reading, one that uses your planetary placements as the diagnostic engine, one that studies your signs, houses, nakshatras, gene keys, shadow patterns, gift potentials, relationship codes, work path, soul pressure, and consciousness growth sequence, get in touch with me. Because your chart is not just a birth chart. It is a map of pressure, pattern, possibility, and awakening. And when you read it deeply, you do not just learn who you are. You discover what your life is trying to transform.